The topic for today is all about agentic defense. We've been working very hard to evolve Microsoft Sentinel over the last, well, honestly, since I started with Microsoft Sentinel 6 years ago. But in particular, over the last year or so, we've been taking the next level of evolution with Sentinel to make it an agentic platform that is suitable for SIEM, but also a broader set of use cases in terms of AI across our entire security portfolio. As a frame, before we get into Sentinel itself, I do want to step back. Our overall offering at Microsoft centers in the brands of Defender for threat protection, Purview for data security, of course, Entra for identity, and Intune for device management. There's a reason that Sentinel is at the bottom of that. It's not because it's the least important, it's because it's the platform. One of the key advantages of having this broad portfolio is that you have scenarios that integrate across things, and Sentinel is one way that brings that all together. As we have been on this journey with Sentinel, we've tried to be very much at the leading edge of technology. We were the first cloud-native SIEM. We were one of the first to bring together SOAR and UABA and TIP into a single offering, and Security Copilot obviously was the first generative AI out there for security. And today we're into the platform. So we will continue to evolve here as we move forward, and I'm really excited at where we are on this step of the evolution. If I think about Sentinel the SIEM before I go back to the platform pieces, these are the three kind of core value props of Sentinel the SIEM. The first piece is all about optimizing cost. We also have, as you know, a set of SOC optimization tools. Of course, we're here to enhance your security in a multi-cloud, multi-platform environment. Sentinel is and will always be a SIEM. We're evolving Sentinel from a SIEM to this AI-ready platform. You can see the new picture, if you like, from an architecture picture is, yes, Sentinel does SIEM, but as you can see, it swipes across the bottom because it is now fundamentally the platform that sits underneath Defender, sits underneath Entra, sits underneath Intune and Purview. And so our first-party products now can take advantage of a set of architectural capabilities, whether or not you're using the SIEM. It's great if you're using the SIEM, but if all you're using is Purview, you can connect to the data lake in Sentinel and do IRM graphs as a result of that, or data security investigation graphs. So there are standalone use cases, and we're just getting started on those. You'll see us build a lot more of those for Purview today with the Sentinel platform, and obviously Defender with the Sentinel platform, and we'll evolve additional use cases on our first-party products over the course of time. What is the base platform? Well, fundamentally, it's built up at three things. The first is the data lake, very low-cost storage, monetized in the standard, high-volume data model of cheap storage with query being a separate cost, so that we can make sure that you can get all the data in you want and you're not restricted in the data that you get into the data lake. Highly scalable, of course. Every single piece of data that you put into log analytics in Sentinel and the SIEM is automatically copied for no additional charge into this data lake. And of course, you can put a lot of data that you weren't going to put into log analytics. Perhaps you put in auxiliary logs or some S3 bucket. Now you can put it into the data lake and get all the management capabilities associated with Sentinel. The next up is the graph piece, and the graph is fundamentally important for connecting the dots and forming relationships, so you can do predictive analytics, incidents get ahead both in posture and threat protection, and then of course an MCP server. Copilot is everywhere in this architecture. Copilot lives at literally every layer in the stack. There are tools that are surfaced from the MCP server that are Copilot. There's Copilot in the user experience of Defender. There's Copilot everywhere, which is why it's on the right-hand side. It isn't only about first party. It's absolutely about open ecosystem. And then you can build directly on top of this platform, which is why it is an agentic platform after all.